breaking news since we last spoke. The Jake Paul-Tank Davis fight has officially been canceled. It is off. It is not happening on November 14th. It is not happening in 9 days' time in Miami on Netflix, and I don't think it's ever happening. So if you weren't a fan of this fight, I think you got your wish. Now, late yesterday night here on the East Coast, around, 9:30, 10 or so, Most Valuable Promotions, the promotion co-founded by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, posted this on social media. They posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino for their partnership. Then there's some information about, fans who purchase tickets. You can see all of this online. I did speak to Nikisa briefly, and I've seen some people say like, hey, and this was his take. Like I asked him two questions, basically, like, did this have anything to do with the ticket sales? He said this was going to be a very, very successful event for them financially. And the other thing was like, Tank Davis has a checkered past. He had a checkered past when this fight was made. What changed? Well, obviously, two incidents, allegations, lawsuit. Since the fight was announced, they at the time felt like this was an opportunity for people to learn about who Tank Davis is, for him to show the world that he was a changed man, all this stuff and more. And that didn't happen, and they felt like they had to cancel the event. For the record, I feel like this was 100% the right call. You can't be a promotion that is so heavily invested in women's boxing and work with a guy who has allegations and lawsuits pending like Tank Davis does. You just can't. It's a mixed message, and what they're doing with women, I think, is fantastic. I think it's brilliant what they've done, focusing on women's boxing. It calls into question everything that they've done to build that up when you do a fight like this. And so there are other fighters, other opportunities. You have to move on. They said that they had an investigation. They looked into it. They feel comfortable moving on. And I think it was 100% the right call to move on. It is not the right look. It is not the right message. It calls into question everything that they're doing with the women, which I think is one of the best things that they're doing. And so that came out. Jake Paul posted a statement. Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre requests, the showing up hours late to shoots, to the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits. If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man can commit. I didn't want to give this woman abuser a platform to grow his fans and to grow his bank account. My company champions women. I'm so sorry to everyone involved, mostly to the undercard fighters, to my team at MVP, and to my team who worked so hard prepping for this fight, sacrificing time with loved ones and kids just for this fool to lose his unintelligent mind. Again, it's scary that devilish men like this can rise to the top of culture and sports, including in positions of power. I hope you people moving forward look beyond his fake streetwear pieces of quote unquote swag and search for something deeper to be a fan of. As for me, it's on to the next one. As always, anyone, anytime, anyplace, Jake. In the midst of all of this, Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ, said that he was offered a fight against Jake, which we here on the show all said that we loved. They said, we said that we thought it made a lot of sense for both guys. Francis disagreed. He said, quote, they reached out the other day and told me how they need a replacement for Gervonta. Jake Paul makes no sense for me. He's not what I'm looking at right now. Jake seemed to have an issue with that stance, and he tweeted, idiot. But it didn't end there, because once the dust settled on Tank Davis, Jake and Francis this morning have engaged in a back and forth, old-fashioned Twitter war. Here's Jake. Dear Francis, just say you already got humiliated in boxing and are scared to lose to Jake Paul. I accept that. You are light work, my friend, stuck in mud. Francis replies, choose your words wisely, boy. I agree that you need someone to discipline you for what you did to Mike Tyson, but stay in your lane. Jake replies, my lane helped your lane. I spoke up for you over and over again. No more. Look at yourself in the mirror. God don't like ugly. Maybe the truth is you are a fake, holier-than-thou actor when it's always been just about you. Maybe use your platform to speak on the youth of your country. Posting a flag ain't it. Instead of doing TMZ interviews like a con man to talk about me. Reality check. I sleep you in boxing and John Jones does in... Is that a bed? What is the last line there? That was a bed. All right. And then Francis replies to that. You did speak up for me in the past, but we are still not in the same lane. Grow up and don't fall so low. And then here's Jake and Sean O'Malley saying the grind doesn't stop. The move to heavyweight starts now.
Did they get Sean O'Malley a custom fat suit with his tattoos on it?
I think so.
It's next level.
The thing is, this back and forth only makes me want to see the fight more. Like, and now I'm more interested in the fight. I'm more invested in the fight. Like, if they just would have left it to the stuff yesterday, I would have been, all right, let's move on to someone else. But now I'm like, can we actually see this fight in December? Because that would be incredible. I just think the fight makes a lot of sense for Francis. It's a high-profile fight. It's on a massive, the biggest platform in the world. You can go out there and be the hero. You could be the last boss. You could be the final boss of this MMA story and end it and knock him out. You're bigger than him. And then for Jake, it makes sense because it's another MMA fighter who's a little younger, who's actually had some fights, who is bigger. Like, there's a real challenge here. It's to me almost like the more interesting challenge than him fighting Anthony Joshua at the moment, because there's a thread. The MMA stuff, now this back and forth. There's no heat between Jake and AJ. There's heat now between him and Francis. There's like legit, they were friends, they were aligned, PFL stuff, and now they're foes. I kind of dig it. And we'll get John Martin's thoughts on this. And I know that when Francis does his boxing stuff, he doesn't have to get the PFL's blessing. But I think this fight makes a lot of sense. And I think it would check off a lot of boxes. If you want Jake Paul to fight on Netflix, it has to be a super high-profile fight. And I think that this would be a pretty high-profile fight. Now, is it the most high-profile? Obviously, Terrence Crawford or Canelo, who's hurt. But, those names, they will cross over more into the world of boxing. But this one makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.